So, the library? Are we going to talk to her here? We are, Ray. I wouldn't be surprised if not only do we get to finally talk to her, we're finally going to see what's behind this, door.
No, we're heading there.
There, meaning the door, Ray! The door that she's pointing to, Ray! The obviously marked, big, thick vault door! There isn't any hard stuff or manga. There's no point in staying in the library. True. She's like,
I am the manga you should be reading. Mr. Ray, we're heading over there.
Over there? Could it be? The very obviously not suspiciously marked door? No, it couldn't be. Let's go to the bookshelf.
Mr. Ray, we're heading over there.
What if I want to check everything first? Fine. I will go over there to the big suspiciously marked vault. By any chance, are we heading to the big suspiciously marked vault that I've tried to get into this entire game but I couldn't get into? That I as Bun thought I could get into earlier and then realized that I couldn't. I was like, oh wait, that's not how this game went. I thought I could get into it. I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, this would have been such a good opportunity. And then I realized, oh, that's not how this was written. I was like, oh, I just have to run. To the unopenable door? Are we going inside?
Yes, that's right. This place is only accessible to a few select people. But you're special, Mr. Ray Shimobe.
Did you hear that, Jet? I'm special. I kind of wanted a kabe don me, not gonna lie. Like, I feel like her kabe donning me would be like really hot. So like, I wouldn't mind her kabe donning me. Wow, that took a while. What could be up ahead? Surely not another loading zone. Am I going to be alright? She won't lock me up and torture me and kill me with another loading zone, will she?
Rest assured, Mr. Ray Shimobe, I won't lock you up, torture you, or kill you.
Am I that easy to read? Yes, you are. You've got no poker face, girl.
Let's go. This is the only place we can talk about these incidents.
Right. Without the poison, I don't have much time left. Right, I've got like, what, a few hours left till I die? Like, this is literally just in the nick of time. I've come this far, there's no time to hesitate. I bet you I'm still gonna die in this route. I'm gonna die in her arms. It's like, she gets to live because of the whole, you know, my curse thing, but I bet you the way it works is like, I get to die in her arms for real. Ikimasu! This is... Oh! Oh my god, it's a library behind the library? Oh my god, there's so many books. Holy crow, there's so many books.
Welcome to the great library of the Ministry of Education.
This is probably where they keep everything. It's like the Library of Alexandria kind of thing, but like, dang! So many books! Great library? Such a huge space underground! There's countless books here!
I told you that we own this building for a certain reason. This is the reason, hiding and managing this, the great library.
Hide the library? What for?
Every book that has ever existed in Shuten is kept here.
It really is a Library of Alexandria. Oh, that's so cool.
Among them are also books that the average order member can't see. The forbidden books.
I like the idea too of, I don't think there's like a restricted section kind of thing. I think it's just like, there's just a section where it's like, where it's just like all of the forbidden books are like mixed in with the normal books. And so it's like every time you pull out a book, you've got a 50-50 chance of like, normal book, forbidden book. Forbidden books? I don't know how to read.
You don't need to know them. No, you shouldn't know the information they contain.
Information control, huh? I feel like I snuck a peek at the Ministry's dark side.
It isn't an exaggeration to say that all the knowledge of Shuten is stored here.
So I probably would have known about this as the founder, so, you know, all the knowledge of Shuten.
The materials on the incident I'm pursuing are also here. The clues collected with the Ministry's information network that only I know.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense that we're about to get information that not even the other ministry knows, because it's like she's done her, it's like Inugami did his own investigation on his own, which makes sense, but it makes sense that she, because she is the head of the information network, would have had people looking into this, and so she's got clues to the puzzle that no one else knows, because it's quite literally only her information network. Okay. By incident, you are referring to the founder's murder, right?
Yes, that's right. I will disclose them to you at your request, because you're special.
I like my special privilege. I like this.
But as I mentioned before, I'd rather the incident remain unsolved. I only gather the intel as my duty. We still have to sift through it. It's up to you whether you can use the information stored here.
I know, it's my job. I'm really just an amateur, though. It's not like I didn't solve a murder mystery in the last go-round. I'm sure it'll be fine, Reishimobe.
You can question me. You can browse the documents. Start wherever you want. Please show me the skills of the great detective.
Oh my god, she's having a moment. I wanna... Ooh, there's so much. Okay, I wanna talk to her. First. Talk! Your alibi is unchanged from what you said before, right?
Yes, on January 1st. From 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., I was in front of the cathedral.
My body was discovered on January 6th, at around 6 a.m. in Central Park. But we do know that I probably came from the cathedral, considering what we got in the Inugami route. So we do know that just because I was found in the park doesn't mean that that's where I was. So we do know that. So Cathedral is still kind of sus. However, she did say that she had an alibi in that, the Ministry of Security. I don't remember what her name is off the top of my head, but she was also there with her. So when we get to the Ministry of Security route, we'll have to keep that in mind. There's quite a distance between the cathedral and the park. To top it off, I was seen on that day around midnight at the cathedral. She has an alibi for the time between midnight and 6 a.m., so she couldn't have killed me. And that's not how that works. She couldn't have carried my body to the park either. Well, we did kind of fall out of the sky, so, like, it doesn't stand to reason that, like, we couldn't have gotten there some other way. Manji Fushito. Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, the redhead. Because I think that in the initial, when we first asked her, she said that she had an alibi and she was with Manji Fushisho at the party, so we'll have to get to security to check that one. But regardless, in the opening cutscene, I looked like I fell out of the sky, so it doesn't mean that, like, they couldn't have gotten me over there a different way, because it's very clear that I was at the cathedral. With this information alone, she could easily be removed from the list of suspects. Something's off. I used the power of God to find the culprit. That's what you get for relying on the wheel of names, Reshimobe. That's what you get for relying on the wheel of names. You said you had been there together with Manji Fuchicho from the Ministry of Security.
Yes. If you ask her, you'll see I'm not lying.
I'll try to obtain supporting evidence later. What were you two talking about? Until morning at that.
We're both ministers. We have many topics to talk about. Or does it appear to you that we don't get along?
Well, yes.
You're so honest. I love that about you too. You're right. There's no love between us. On that day, a National Foundation party was held in front of the cathedral.
I like that she looks like she's drunk. Not Honoka, but Manji. Manji looks like she's drunk, and I think it's kind of cute. They're both competing to see who rocks the eye patch better. I'm sorry, Honoka. I love your eye patch, but, like, Manji is so rocking the better eye patch. She's got a cool logo and everything. I mean, she looks super badass, where you kind of look creepy. Manji is winning.
Manji had gotten drunk and tagged along with me. She was pestering me with questions like, are you really after the founder's seat? Is that why you have a monopoly on personal information? She pestered me non-stop, on and on and on, until morning. I brushed her off and barely ended up responding to her.
Well, that's awkward enough just hearing about it. I bet you we're gonna hear Manji's side, and Manji's gonna be like, and that twerp didn't even answer me! She just kept smiling and laughing behind her mask. I could hear the little coo-coo-coo-coo-coo. I kept pestering her and she wouldn't say anything! The jerk!
But everything was true. As you know, I was getting ready for the coup.
Right. She wanted to take over the country for her own ideals. Moreover, my ideals as the founder and hers were conflicting. In short, the founder stood in her way, which is a clear motive for murder. Then, she has to be the culprit. By the way, are you going to carry out the coup now?
Well, I still have a lot to prepare. I can't carry it out right away. I'll make it a success for you, Mr. Ray. I'll change this country from the root in order to hasten the end of the world.
She wants to quicken the end by brainwashing all of the Order members to go outside, right? Don't get it yet. I know it's dangerous. With the information, we're questioning Manji Fushiro and stop Honoka. Oh, okay. Yeah, listen, Honoka just wants to have a little fun. She deserves this. I will say, I think this is the route where we learned that the outside world is like super polluted or something like that. Or it's like toxic, and that's the reason why like Shuten is only viable like to live here because it's like safe. I think that's what it is. There's a lot of information all over.
You can freely browse the books. Let me know if there's a book you need. I know everything about this collection, so I can find anything you need.
Everything? Then all of these books?
I read them all. How else would I know what's in them?
That's incredible! Oh, okay. This book is The History of Sacrifices, Part 1? Long ago, to maintain global harmony, a custom was observed for a great period of time. It was to sacrifice an Order member's life to the world. Right! We learned about... Okay, I was gonna say... Wait, where have I heard sacrifice before? It was in the other route. In the Inugami route, we learned a little bit. We just briefly touched on sacrifices. Oh, shoot. Okay. I don't remember what we learned particularly other than, like, it's kind of like it needed to happen. But... Oh, shoot. Okay. Its origin traces back to the founding of this nation, established by the founder. Long ago, the founder sought to purify the corrupt land and revive the dying sun. Wait, whoa, okay. However, his virtue alone wasn't enough to perform that miracle. To make up for this, it became necessary to demand sacrifices from the people. Right, because it was like this place was uninhabitable, and that's why the world outside is uninhabitable, and the land of Shuten used to be uninhabitable, but the founder was able to make it habitable. Yeah, it was. Sacrifices meant offerings, and not just a few. The miracle requires hundreds of lives. Oh my god! Mass murder! Oh good lord! Even knowing this, not a single follower tried to escape. On the contrary, many of them volunteered, hoping to become offerings themselves. They were all devout believers who trusted the founder and the teachings of the Order. Is that what the countdown to the end of the world is? Is the countdown to the end of the world actually a countdown to the day of, like, sacrifice? Oh, I wonder if that's what the countdown is. Because we only lived through a few days of the countdown, but I wonder if the end of the world that we all look forward to as followers of, like, the Shuten Order is like, it's like, you know, the offering, the sacrifice. As a result, several hundreds of people were offered in sacrifice. With time, the offerings have long since ceased. Okay, so the offerings are no longer being done. But we must never forget that this nation exists today thanks to those heroes, which is, I think, why the Statue of Glory exists. Because I want to say one of the routes said that the Statue of Glory was, like, made up of bodies. Cult! I mean, if it wasn't obvious that the Shuten Order was a cult, they're basically saying, hey, remember, viewer, this is a cult. Blessed be the Shuten Order. Ah! It's a cult! I was a cult leader! Volunteering to be a sacrifice for the founder and the world? That's fanatical! Is this a cult? Blessed be, listen. Blessed be the 042. Blessed be the 042. But why would the Shuten Order, who desires the end, try to protect the world? Again, I wonder if the end is like the sacrifice or whatever. I don't know. Oh, okay, so it does says the same thing, so there we go. So this one. So this book is about the legendary murderer? Huh? What? Legendary murderer? The legendary murderer who shook all of Shuten. They were so unique that many urban legends arose, and their true nature was long unknown. After investigation, the truth has finally come to light, and is recorded here. Let's begin with the first incident that sparked the famous legend. It was discovered that the murderer behind it was an early type droid. What? An early type droid? Huh? It is truly astounding that it was still operational at the time. Those models were known for their frequent system malfunctions and many initial defects. The model that later became a murderer was an initial droid used for excavation. As expected, it also had a critical defect. Its violent behavior caused incidents at work, injuring and killing other droids. After inspection, it was deemed difficult to repair and scheduled for disposal. However, due to a clerical error, it was sold off cheaply as a service droid. The buyer was the amusement park involved in the incident. The droid was working in the park, wearing costumes and handing out balloons. On its very first day, it caused the infamous incident. The droid was originally an excavation machine, so a rock drill was its weapon. Its built-in drill had never been disposed of and remained— Who didn't dispose of this? This is a huge oversight, you idiots! You were asking for it! Like, you knew this thing was defective and you didn't get rid of the drill? Like, I understand it was, set for disposal and because of a clerical error it was sold, but like, this is on the amusement park for seeing that this droid had a drill and not getting rid of it. What the fudge? This can be seen as a tragic incident brought about by negligent man— Exactly! And thus, the infamous murderer was born. After this incident, the murderer fled the scene, but broke down a few days later. It was later discovered that it had died, unnoticed, deep in a forest near the border. The murderer responsible for these horrific serial killings had already died. Aside from the first incident, the string of murders that claimed dozens of victims must have been the work of a different entity than the early type droid. Oh, okay. So, who is the murderer later designated as a unique heretic by the Ministry of Security? Although mysteries remain unsolved, this concludes the report on the murderer responsible for the first incident. It will also be shared with the Ministry of Security to aid in the security maintenance. What the fudge did I just read? A legendary murderer? So this country has faced horrible incidents? Every country has faced horrible incidents, Reshimobe. It's called government. So what, this book is about God? To us, God is... Boop! It's all redacted. Look at all that beautiful redaction. It's beautiful. Reshimobe realizing that Reshimobe can't read. Ray's like, oh shit, I can't read! Huh? What's this? Most of the pages are blacked out. A prank? Or maybe... Oh, there are traces of someone's writing on this page. We believe only in ourselves. What could it mean? Not to believe in anything other than the Shuten order? Yeah, we don't need God! No mention of those incidents have been mentioned in the routes you've done. Yeah, I was going to say, I think that the reason it felt familiar was because Inugami talked about similar murder cases. Again, seeing the word murder and incidents, like Inugami's, I think, was in relation to the Kukuri family and the Kukuri head covering up his illicit dealings via silencing. So yeah, I was like, I don't think I've heard anything about that yet. But that is interesting to keep in mind, is that apparently there was a series of droid murders. What is interesting too is that apparently robots are very prevalent here. Early Mark droids or whatever, but robots are prevalent here more so than I think I've seen, like, in the story so far, so it's kind of interesting. Watch the big reveal be that, like, everyone here within the Shuten Order are all robots. We're all robots. We're all droids. That's the only reason we're actually able to survive here. This book is about the end? We wait for the end in anticipation. The end is just when our robot bodies get decommissioned. A countdown, echoing the footsteps towards the end, sown throughout the nation.
We eagerly await the moment it reaches zero. The instant that humanity meets its end. Oh my god, wait! What if the instant that humanity meets its end is just the robot uprising? that early Mark droid was the beginning. The end is the robot uprising. We're all going to rise up as robots. Big twist, Rei Shimobe is robot. Rei Shimobe and ministers, they're all robots ready for the robot uprising. Only then will we finally be able to find true peace. The Shuten Order wants humanity to perish because they want the robots to uprise. Counting down to the day of their own extinction. They're out of their minds. Just remember, never touch grass. Ew! Why would I ever want to touch grass? Grass is disgusting. We don't like. I went out and touched grass today, and it was so wet. I hated it. So, this book is about the power of God? The power to blow people's heads up? The power of God is the most sinister curse in this world. Well, hopefully it won't smite me too bad, considering I've got it stuck inside me right now. To bring peace to our lives without invoking the doctrine set by the founder. To forget the accursed past. For all eternity, we must seal away that power to ensure it is never used. Eventually, we must erase its very existence. If you witness its use, report it to the Ministry of Security or the Ministry of Justice. If you witness its use, me. Oopsies. Detain anyone who has violated this. Don't detain me! Inogami sure loved it. I mean, true. There's only one type of grass I want, you know? The currently known types of the power of God are as follows. Destruction. Destroys the target's body. That's the first thing we use when we blow up the person's brain. Control. Brings lower grade droids under control and allows, which is what we saw with, whatchamacallit, the little Techo Ion's, little droid. His cute little droidy creature. Training provides a certain level of communication, not as strong as control. Search scans a wide area to locate a target. Some areas may limit its effectiveness. Infiltration puts the target under long-term control if their barriers are dismantled. Resurrection. Restored, damaged, or inactive targets. Targets must be whole. Oh, that's interesting. The pages have been torn out midway. Wait, that's interesting. Wait, so I've used 2 powers of God so far. As Mikotoru and Himeru say, the power of God really is taboo in this country. Speaking of which... Oh, here we go. I wanted to look at this. So, we've seen destruction and control in the first sequence with the ministers, but what's interesting is I don't think I've seen training, search, infiltration, or resurrection. Unless, again, I think it was called, like, Revelation is what it was called in Ministry of Justice, and I don't remember what our thing was called in this one. But I wonder if there are versions of it. If training provides a certain level of communication, is a version of like the revelation we used in Ministry of Justice and Justice Route, and if like search scans a wide area to locate a target, if like search is a version of what we're using here in education, I don't know. But again, the only ones I know for sure we've used are destruction and control. But that's interesting. Resurrection is very interesting too. Restores damaged or inactive targets. Targets must be whole. And weirdly enough, maybe that's what happened to us to bring us back, is we've been resurrected, which is restores damaged or inactive targets. But you know what's super weird about this? What's super weird about this, genuinely, is honest to God, I don't like the phrasing of resurrections. Restores damaged or inactive targets? That's a weird way to say, like, dead. You know what I mean? Like, that's a really weird way to say, like, a dead person. Especially with the droid comments. You know, the control lower grade droids destroys a target's body. I think target in this case could be human or, you know, droid. But weirdly enough, this comment of inactive targets... Inactive makes me think like a droid that's out of commission. You know what I mean? And so...
there's a part of me that wonders if these work on not only humans, but also if it's meant to be the idea that, like, they work on machines as well as humans. But again, if it was just humans, like I think I'm supposed to assume it is, I feel like there are other wordings that would have been more human and would more like different, because I feel like a lot of this kind of stuff, like, you know, like if their barriers are dismantled is kind of a weird phrasing. I don't know. I just think it's weird. Like, I think destruction is, like, very straightforward, destroys target's body, but, like, resurrection with it being destroys damaged or inactive. The word inactive is just weird, because, like, damaged, I can see it being, like, yeah, restores a damaged body, but inactive implies, like, out of commission. They should have just used, like, I feel like they would have just used the word dead. You know what I mean? Inactive implies that something is out of commission, but it's not human. Like, something has been, like, decommissioned. So I feel like this is weird, and I wonder if the power of God works on, like, both humans and robots, or if what this is a subtle nod to is that the power of God only works on robots. Because we saw someone blow up, but they could have been a robot. I don't know. I don't know. That's just kind of my thought process when I saw the stuff. Yeah, the revelation and reincarnation weren't listed. Could they be on the torn out pages? Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say revelation is what we were using I think it's what we were using in Inugami's, and we may be using that here too, which is kind of interesting. Alright. Yeah, that's weird. Is this the same one? Okay, yeah, this is about the end. So this one. So, this book is about disruptive structure theory and regeneration or rebirth? What? This looks complicated. As per the second law of thermodynamics, ordered things move towards greater disorder. In other words, the universe is collapsing into chaos. There is no eternity there. All things with form will break. There is no use crying over spilled milk. However, rarely, with a small probability, the faintest order can emerge from chaos. It affects its surroundings, leading the affected things to create more order. The probability of the influence of creating order in the chain of reaction is never zero. This universe, progressing from chaos to order, contains notions that generate order. Just as the order of life has emerged with the universe, events deemed irreversible can exhibit reversibility when conditions align. What? Broken things can return to their original state. Spilled milk can return to the bowl. If that can be called a miracle, miracles do exist, and a new order will be created. Is this in reference to me coming back from the dead? Oh shoot. Is this the answer of me coming back from the dead? Okay. See, scattered particles will converge there with certain order. It's too complicated. I don't get it at all. Okay, huh. What's this? She has my head, doesn't she? I love that, like, I went, what's this? And then I paused and I thought about what could theoretically be under this, like, lamp-shaped birdcage-esque thing. She's got my head, doesn't she? What's this?
Oh, that.
Oh, she's got my arm!
The founder's left arm.
I kind of like that I'm being displayed in, like, a pretty capsule. I kind of like this. This is kind of fun. So I've got a tattoo on my left arm, my left hand, and a ribbon around my left wrist. Also, I'm going to put this out there, it's weird that my body isn't rotting. Like, I know this could be art style or whatever, but never Ray has not yet pointed out that, like, the body is rotting. It's been 3 days and my body isn't rotting? What kind of creature am I? An arm! Is this really mine?
Oh, a detective isn't used to the sight of dead bodies.
3 days? What do you mean? It's been like 3 days! Well, my own book. I've never seen a corpse.
What a weird detective you are. But that incoherence of yours is charming, too.
Really?
The ministers split the founders' bodies among themselves to store it, and I received his left arm.
Did she really only get my left arm? Yes! Inugami's got the right leg! If she's the culprit, she must have my torso as well. But why did the culprit only take my torso? And hanging onto my dismembered body. These people aren't normal. Yeah, these people aren't normal. You think? I guess that's just another quirk of the Shuten order. And the fact that this is my body just isn't sinking in.
Have you noticed anything looking at this arm?
Well... there's a string on the wrist. What is it? A ribbon? Would the founder usually wear such a ribbon?
No. As far as I know, he's never been seen with such an ornament.
Did the culprit tie it on the body?
Even if they did, I can't see what for.
It must be a good luck charm. Why would someone put it on a dead body?
Hard to explain, isn't it? There's no such ritual in the Order's doctrine, but since it might be a clue, I left it on the body.
Hold on. There's something more on the back of his hand. If you look closely, there's some black powder stuck to... Oh, that's not a symbol, it's black powder. Okay. Ash? Why would there be ash here?
The founder may have been killed in a place with ash.
Shoot, the Shuten Order Cathedral room. There was a fireplace, wasn't there? But I think we decided that the fireplace was too small for someone to crawl out of. I think that's what it was. When we went to investigate the room, there was a fireplace, but I think that they ruled out that like the founder the fireplace was too small for the founder to crawl out of. But there was a fireplace in like the sealed off room that the founder was supposedly in. Ash? A place with ash? Like an incinerator?
Or a charcoal burner's hut. Fireplace.
None of these sound convincing. I think Honoka's trying to mislead me. I think I got, left arm. Founder's left wrist had a cord tied around it, likely placed by the culprit for unknown reasons. Ashes were found on the back of the hand, suggesting it might have been found on the murder site. Yeah, and if I go to prayer room, a fireplace connects to a narrow chimney leading outside, though too small for anyone to pass through. Weirdly enough, though, if the body was dismembered in this room, I wonder if the body, like the limbs, would have been small enough to pass through the chimney. Yeah. However, there were no traces of footprints or other markers were found in the ashes in the fireplace. But I wonder if the torso wasn't big enough, you know what I mean? Like, was too big. Anyways, that's just a thought. It's just a thought. Hey, Kumo! Kumo! Hang on, where's my... Yes! How are you doing, Kumo? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for your continued support. You get no choice. You're a friend, you get no choice. I hope you're doing well, Kumo. It's good to see you. I found the arm! Isn't it beautiful? Isn't definitely my not rotting arm beautiful? It's not rotting and it's really creepy. Isn't it beautiful? Kumo, I'm convinced we're all robots. I'm convinced the entire Shuten Order, we're all advanced AI robots here to take over the world. I hope you're ready for nothing but crackpot theories. I have no information, but I'm now convinced that everyone is a robot. That's the reason why no one is sane in this world. We're all robots.